Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Growing up I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business. Not because they wanna do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes this day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I wanna share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that it is.
Don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Now, if I had a voice that reached 100 million people, I'd tell them there's a reason that we're all created equal. Cause some decide to be great and some decide a sequel to an average person's life is simply what they want to be. So you make your decision, all I know is what I'm given. Won't define the life I lead or the way I dwell in existence. I've seen a greater image on the walls of where I'm living, and the words twisted and scripted remind me of something written. Faith is a gift that is given down to the people. If one believes it, one receives it. It's given if it is needed. Don't ever think you're trapped in a life that you never wanted. Your options are infinite, that's some mathematical logic. I'm not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers and these battle scars on my church. Not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers, these battle scars on my church.
Don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Well, hello everyone. How are you doing? I'm a bit grumpy pants, to be honest. I threw my back out, so I'm in a terrible amount of pain. But I'm trying to get comfortable. I'm a little bit leaned back because of that, and I moved my mouse up here. We'll see how I do. And I also couldn't get my iPhone camera to work. Like, this is what my iPhone camera looks like that, just black. So, with a Twitter notification. So we're on my less than stellar camera with a little bit of a grumpy pants, but nothing that a little sangria won't cure. But this is going to be a relatively quick show. There's just a few things I had wanted to cover, but I hadn't done my sponsors in a while, so I did want to remind you. I don't like to do it too often, but I do like to do it often enough, is to encourage you to purchase these books from Sean Dempsey if you have young people in your life that you would, I don't have any young kids myself, so, I'm guessing 6 years old, 6, 7, 8 years old, younger you could read to and show the pictures, but they teach libertarian life lessons without being overly political, beautifully illustrated, both by Sean Dempsey from the Free State Project. So one of them is called Ava in the Storm, and the other is called A Tale of Two Brothers. You can get them both on Amazon.com, and I would truly appreciate it, and I'm sure Sean would truly appreciate it. And hello, Frank, H. Weirden, Connor, and JJ. And before we get started, as usual, we're going to do the YouTuber thing. So please subscribe, like, and share, but particularly subscribe. It does help tickles the algorithm. And Fidalgo File says he must be having trouble sleeping if he's watching this live. Yeah, and it's not particularly early for me. And hello, Richard, as well. Also, follow me. It's mostly on Twitter right now, Karen Ann Harlos, but I am back on Facebook. I'm hardly ever on MeWe. I don't even know why I have that up there. And last but not least, please support me on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty. No, I have not yet updated my closing screen. I'm really now just getting caught up on a lot of things. If you don't know, I'm on the Ballot Access Committee. I'm thoroughly enjoying it because I'm learning a lot. But in order to be on the committee, I agreed to be secretary because nobody wants to do that. And listen, if I got a bribe to get on a committee with my secretarial skills, Mama ain't too proud to do that when there's a committee she wants to be on. But when I scratched my eye and just all kinds of stuff, I got behind on, it's not exactly minutes. Committees don't keep minutes, but, you know, our summaries, our notes for the meetings. And I just did one for March 6th. I'm doing the one for March 20th. And I've got one more to do, and I'm all caught up. And then getting ready for the town hall for the bylaws committee on 420. I will not be partaking in 420 celebrations, but if you would like to, it might make the town hall all the more interesting. Colorado is completely wasted on me in that department. I'll just have my sangria. My back is killing me, though. Literally, I can't straighten up. I'm walking around like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm getting all kinds of like sangria face. But yeah, it's terribly, terribly painful. And a minute after the show, I'm going to go up and lay on a heating pad for a while. But I wanted to do this show, even though I didn't think I was really going to be talking about Michigan anymore, because, you know, it does seem like certainly that legal action is imminent. I remembered there was something I had wanted to cover that really doesn't have much to do with legal action, so I'm pretty safe to cover it, though it might potentially have something to do with legal action with the state, the state party, but certainly not legal action initiated from the national party, because we wouldn't have standing. But, you know, at this point, you know, everyone's heard the various opinions. The national party has made its decision. And my burden lately has been to show that we are dealing with people committing fraud. And I think I really did show that last time. But I wanted to show you guys another example of fraud. So those of you who think you're being cute, oh, the bad LNC, and, you know, you're sharing fundraising links for the fraudsters, just know that you're supporting fraud, and that's about as anti-libertarian as it gets. I dealt with that on my last show, but Mama brought some receipts today. I want to show you some other fraud. I have some back braces, JJ. I'm going to, otherwise known as corsets. So, JJ, no, I don't want to borrow your corset. Ooh, where is it? But, yeah, I do have some corsets of my own. I spent the day at storage. I don't even know how I did that without a brace on. But I wanted to bring some more receipts today because I think most libertarians would recognize this as fraud. So those who knew that this was going on kind of understood the background for a Twitter poll I did the other day. But I asked in a Twitter poll if spoofing an email address to deceive the recipient into thinking that the person who sent the address was and that is the definition of spoofing, you know, to deceive somebody, is that a form of fraud? And of course it is. Of course it's a form of fraud. Now, some people didn't know that email spoofing is a term of art. It's not spoof as in ha-ha joke. You know, oh, you spoofed me. No, email spoofing is like, again, a technical term of art that's used by phishing schemes or other scam artists that want you to trust a particular email because you think it came from a certain sender when it didn't. It's not about hiding your real email address from, some spam emailing list. It's not using an alias. It's none of those things. In fact, for example here, I want to pull up, actually Wikipedia has got a pretty good definition of email spoofing. And I would like you guys to see that, because I don't think any libertarian would think that this is not a form of fraud. But let's pull this up. So, in Wikipedia, email spoofing is the creation of email messages with a forged sender address. The term applies to email purporting to be from an address which is not actually the sender's. Mail sent in reply to that address may bounce or be delivered to an unrelated party whose identity has been faked. Disposable email addresses or masked email is a different topic. Providing a masked email address that is not the user's normal address, which is not disclosed, for example, so that it cannot be harvested, but forwards mail sent to the user's email address. So that is not spoofing, which is what some people thought. Spoofing is you're forging a sender email address in order to deceive the recipient. So, let's go back here. I would hope we would all consider that a form of fraud. Now, some people said, well, it's not a form of fraud. And to me, this is where libertarians get ridiculous. Unless somebody actually was deceived or somebody actually had property stolen. Okay. Then I sure hope you're consistent with that and say that you can't defend yourself until somebody is actually hurt, that somebody given a credible threat to you or, actually has to fire the gun. They can't just raise it, isn't a form of aggression. That to me is completely vacuous understanding of fraud. Let's just call it even attempted fraud. That's why I said a form of fraud. You might not have fallen for it, but it doesn't make it not a form of fraud. So there is, and I didn't see this until recently. So in the people who are part of the fraudulent purported affiliate in Michigan, not the legitimate recognized affiliate, they are good at doing a lot of spam. Not talking about email, just talking about in their comments. And they decided to get together, that I've seen now from different posters. So this is why I call it their copy pasta PR. It's like their press release. And I didn't bother to get a copy of it. I remember what it said. If you all have been following the saga, you have seen it because it's word for word from multiple people. And it would say things like, the LNC propped up affiliate had one, the website. True. They have and still do have lpmichigan.org. But the fraudulent people got lpmichigan.net. You know that ICANN would have a severe problem with that if that ever went to an ICANN arbitration panel, which it might. But again, the National Party doesn't have standing for that. That isn't something I'm going to address. But to just simply say they had the website address when you're deceitfully using just a different extension, that's not entirely honest. But that's not what I'm talking about spoofing. But just saying, they didn't tell you the whole truth there. Then they said the LNC propped up affiliate had the email book or the email list. Oh, you want to know what that group isn't telling you? That they violated their NDA and downloaded the email list from the CRM fraudulently. All of you people who support the CRM the way I do, it's bad actors like this that erode trust in the CRM and will eventually destroy it. If this kind of stuff is allowed to continue. When you have bad actors who violate a signed NDA and dump download, you might go, well, how do you know it isn't a list they collected themselves? Well, you ever hear of anything called salting? Any good organization salts their lists. Now, that term has gotten a bit diluted, that it can also be used for fraudulent activity. That's not what I mean it as. Salting or seeding is what it used to be called with direct mail. What salting is, in the way I'm using it, is particularly for groups that rent their mailing lists. So let's say we used to rent mailing lists from Reason magazine in our early history, and Reason would salt their list. And what that is they put in addresses in their list undisclosed to the person that they're renting it from to make sure that they're not using that list more than once. So they'll have like the home address of maybe the president or some other mailing house. And if they get mail more than once from that person they rented the list to, they would have a cause for suit because they would know that they used the email list for more times than they rented it. You can do the same thing with email addresses. If you want to see if there is unauthorized use of your database, you put in your database an email address that is only used there. And if it gets mail from someone you didn't authorize, you know that they somehow got access to your email list. Now, salting doesn't even have to be done on purpose. Libertarians salt themselves. So there are lots of libertarians that will use different email addresses for various things, so that because they're paranoid that their information is being sold. So let's just say we do know that they violated the NDA. I'm not going to say who salted the list, but let's just say they sent email to a salted address. That's not ethical. So it's not true that only the LNC propped up affiliate had the email list. Untrue. And then they said, and here's where things are going to get really interesting, and this is, in fact, fraudulent and unethical, Hector. So they said the LNC propped up affiliate, and I don't remember what term they used, but, that's basically what they were saying, had an email sent out by the party chair saying which convention was legitimate or which group was legitimate, as we have every right to do. But here's what they don't tell you. So I want to show you a copy of that email that went out from Angela, and I believe it went out on March 3rd. It might have been early on March 4th. Let me find it. I downloaded it. My desktop right now won't let me delete images. So here we go. Here's the email address that went out. Email that went out. Dear members of the Libertarian Party of Michigan, I understand there may be some confusion in your affiliate regarding a change of leadership. As you move towards an upcoming convention, I want to wish you all the best of luck and inform you that the LNC currently recognizes the entity found at, it gives the MichiganLP.org and presently chaired by Andrew Chatterton, as the rightful affiliate party. If you have any questions about getting involved or information on your convention, please contact the LPMI at info@MichiganLP.org, and it gave Angela's email address. So it told party members who the legitimate affiliate was and what their email address was. So what do you think these people did the very next day? So don't be saying, oh, they had an email from the National Party. Because let me show you what they did. And if this is something that's okay to you, get the F away from me. Because you are not an ethical person. If this is something that's okay with you. Okay, so let them know. I just wanted to pull this up. So they sent out this email. The fraudulent group did. Make sure my things are really... Okay. They sent out this email called a convention. But look at the email address up at the top there. No reply at... MichiganLP.org, which is, and they sent it that same day that Nationals went out. They sent it this allegedly came from the affiliate that National had said was the legitimate affiliate. So if you're someone who's really not paying attention, you just got an email from the party chair, and then you get an email called a convention that appears to be from the website that National just told you is the legitimate website, MichiganLP.org. However, let me find this screenshot for you. That's not it. Okay, here it is. Give me 1 second. But you can go into email headers if you're curious, but most people don't do this. Look at the header of where this email came from. So, no reply at MichiganLP.org via MichiganLP.net. This was the other group pretending, spoofing an email that they sent from their fake affiliate address. But to the ordinary member that got this, they thought they made it look like it was from the legitimate affiliate. That's okay to you? That's not fraudulent? That's classical email spoofing. And you wouldn't know it came from MichiganLP.net unless you looked at the headers. But it gets worse. It gets worse. Because if you remember in that email from Angela, she not only said what the legitimate affiliate's website was, she said what their address was. Like, if you want more information, write info@MichiganLP.org. A week later, the fraudulent affiliate sent out another email about their convention. And I want to show you the header to that one. Give me 1 second. Okay. Now, again, somebody paying really, really close attention could look at the headers, or they could see. But remember, your average member isn't all caught up in this stuff. So here's an email they sent out a week later. Look where it's from. info@MichiganLP.org. But if you look at the reply to, it's info@MichiganLP.net. But they spoofed the from as from the legitimate affiliate. Because they knew there was an email from the National Party that said what the legitimate email address was. And that explains why. And so they brag about all these people they had at their convention, but they kept continually deceitfully emailing people as if they were the legitimate affiliate. So does that list now, that little list they sent around, seem so honest now? Anyone who is supporting these people, even if you thought their cause was just originally, they're engaging in outright fraud upon the membership, who has a right to know where email addresses are coming from when they're being asked for money. They are soliciting money with these emails and for people to waste their Saturday afternoon going to a fake convention. If you don't think that's fraud, literally, get off my friends list, stay the hell away from me. And I question whether you're a libertarian, because that is disgusting behavior. And that's the type of crap these people have been pulling over and over and over. This is what you're supporting. So I just wanted to show you, Mama had receipts. Now, that shit they just did, that's illegal. The National Party has we're not the quote-unquote victim. It's members of the Libertarian Party of Michigan. A member who sent money or wasted their time going to a fake convention could report that to the authorities. Libertarians generally don't do that, but they could. They're the victims. The state party there, the legitimate state party, they're the victims. I can point it out, but the National Party's not, we're not a party to that. But the type of unethical tactics you're dealing with. So when you hear about the big bad LNC picking on these poor people, these are the people you're defending. Definitely not worth your time or your effort. Now imagine that going on in your state. You wouldn't like it one bit. So when they start bragging about how many people they had at their convention, do you think they got any people there? Well, I don't want to say any. All of those people there legitimately when they're sending out fraudulent emails? No, go watch the video and you could see there's people there who are really confused and knew nothing about the dispute. Plus, when you're advertising for an alleged annual convention, of course people want to go to that. That's bylaws changes, officers. I mean, it's the whole kit and caboodle. An annual convention is not the same thing as you getting some kind of notice for a special convention with 2 pieces of business on it. So, when you see that copy pasta going around, just know that's another form of fraud because they're not telling you the whole story. They are lying to you, and they've been lying to you. And those of you who might have believed them in the beginning, do you think leopards changed their spots? Do you think they were just driven to become liars? Or have they been liars the whole time? Good question to ask yourself. And thank you for the super chat, Dave. I super, super appreciate it. And the shows I do on Michigan, just so you know, in case anyone else wants to send me a super chat, I refuse to take money from those. I donate it to the National Party Legal Defense. So I will be donating that $5 tonight to the National Party because a lot of people have accused me in the past, oh, you're just trying to grift off a drama. No, I'm trying to educate you all. So I don't turn on ads for these shows. If you see an ad on it, it's just because YouTube shoved it on there and they're the ones making the money, not me. I do not monetize my exposés on Michigan. And the super chats I get, I donate to the National Party. And if anyone else would like to make a donation, I will send it over to the National Party and I send the full amount. But I do appreciate it. And the National Party certainly does appreciate it as well. I would encourage everyone, let's move off of Michigan just for a moment. Back to the ballot access thing. There's going to be some ballot access emails that are going out. We are heading hot and heavy into ballot access season, and we would truly, truly appreciate your support. I send greetings out to everyone from Michigan. I understand you had a successful convention today. And I'm not sure if it's a 2-day convention, but I had heard news from some of the convention earlier today that it went really well. So, congratulations to you all and to everyone who's in Florida. I'll be seeing you next weekend. Hopefully I'll be walking upright and not like Sasquatch at that point. Hopefully my back will be better, but come hell or high water, I will be there whether I'm stooped over or not. So I hope everyone has an awesome night, and I hope this was eye-opening to you. So yes, there was legitimate email spoofing. And yes, Mama had receipts. Bye, y'all.
Gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business, not because they want to